Some of you eagle-eyed viewers may recognize a few or maybe all of these nominated performances, but for those of you who don't, hey, it's Michael, aka Oscar Man, and this video will cover some Oscar-nominated performances that were, let's just say, unexpected. The most recent example is Brian Tyree Henry's Best Supporting Actor nomination for Causeway. I hadn't heard of the 2022 film when his name was announced, though I do remember there were cheers from the press room when it was. I don't have Apple TV, and Henry wasn't nominated at the SAG Awards, so his nomination was a surprise, at least for me.
Oh, yeah, no, you don't. You don't have to live with your mother. Come over now.
What?
Yeah, move in. You got your own room. You know how many rooms I got? I wouldn't even know you was here.
I still haven't seen the film, but from what I've read, Henry had a strong storyline.
He was in the passage, you see. Kept saying he wanted to sit next to me in the front seat, so just said no. He was too small. That he needed to be in the child seat. And I said, yeah.
As will be my question throughout this video, were you familiar with this film? Did you hear of any Oscar buzz surrounding Henry? Was his nomination a surprise? Back in 1985, a film about marital discord titled Twice in a Lifetime featured a cast that included Gene Hackman, Anne Margaret, and Ellen Burstyn. This tale of a man's midlife crisis didn't make much of a dent with the critics or at the box office, but Amy Madigan managed to stand out, and she received a nomination for Best Supporting Actress as Hackman's angry daughter.
What kind of stinking little game do you think you're playing in here? Come on. You know, you turned out to be a real son of a bitch in your old age.
That kind of language.
I'm going to use any kind of language I want to. In front of everybody, all the neighbors. So concerned about the Mackenzie family. Talking about us behind our backs. Isn't that right, Nick?
Madigan had already appeared in a handful of films prior to Twice in a Lifetime and was developing a reputation as a solid actress on stage, screen, and television. Twice in a Lifetime isn't well known today, but it's a good film, albeit more reminiscent of a TV movie of the week. It boasts a solid cast with a deserving Oscar nomination for Madigan.
We got two kids. Got a roof over our heads. It ain't ours. It's never going to be ours. And here I am screaming out this great big family deal. Isn't life wonderful? Who do I think I'll keep? Would you change it? You'd swap it, you keep kids, just change it for something else? No. It's just so hard.
All right, now how many of you have heard of and seen A Better Life? This 2011 film tells the story of Carlos, a hardworking gardener trying to make a good life for himself and his son in Los Angeles. The purchase of a truck, which ends up being stolen, leads Carlos to unforeseen circumstances which negatively impact him as well as his son. This story slightly mirrors the 1950 film The Bicycle Thief. A Better Life was released in the summer of 2011 to acclaim but little box office. However, its star, Demian Bashir, known for his work in Mexican telenovelas, became a surprise nominee for Best Actor.
I had a lot of anger inside me. But the one thing that helped me get over all that, it was you.
Bashir had received nominations at both the SAG and Independent Spirit Awards, but come Oscar time, I don't think many had heard of him or the film for which he was nominated. Oh, a side note. Bashir is only the second Mexican-born actor to be nominated for Best Actor, the first being Anthony Quinn.
I wanted you to be able to be anything you wanted to be. That would make me feel worthy. If you became somebody.
Most of you are familiar with actress Jean Simmons. She appeared in dozens of major Hollywood films, including Elmer Gantry, Guys and Dolls, and Spartacus. She was first nominated at 18 years old for her performance as Ophelia in 1948's Best Picture winner, Hamlet. Jean Simmons' film work in the 1960s was hit and miss, but she managed to pull off one of those out-of-nowhere Oscar nominations for 1969's The Happy Ending.
I think I'm clear.
26 black.
You've never had a... Nobody? Not once in 16 years? My God. You belong in a museum. I forgot my glasses. I won't even see what's happening. It's better with your eyes closed. I've forgotten what to say or do.
Even though Simmons was also nominated for a Golden Globe, The Happy Ending was neither a critical nor box office success. Yet her performance as an unhappily married woman trying to find herself while questioning her life and her identity placed Simmons in contention for that year's Best Actress Oscar. Jean Simmons' husband, Richard Brooks, wrote the screenplay for her in hopes that she would be able to recognize and acknowledge her own personal struggles with issues such as alcoholism and commitment.
Because we got nothing to say to each other. Before we married, you never stopped talking. Now you talk only to clients. Marge talks only to the telephone. The only people who ever talk to me are the television and Agnes.
That's drunk talk. Oh, I got a big day tomorrow.
You're doing what? Training for those 2-hour, 6-martini lunches, goosing topless waitresses?
Following this nomination, Jean Simmons continued to work into the 1990s, performing on television in episodic dramas and miniseries.
Because I am not one of your fans!
Yep, that's Diana Scarwood as Christina Crawford in the infamous Mommy Dearest. No, she wasn't nominated for that performance, but she likely booked that gig when she did get nominated for 1980's Inside Moves, another one of those "where did that come from" surprises. Inside Moves barely made a blip in theaters at the time of its release, leaving one to believe that this story of a disabled man's relationships and the betrayal he experiences from a trusted friend would hardly be remembered by the Academy. Diana Scarwood co-starred as Louise, a waitress who begins a relationship with Rory, played by John Savage.
See, I do want to be your lover. And there's nothing that I would like better, than to be your lover. It's...
You're afraid.
I think so, yeah.
Of what it would be like with a crook.
Yeah. I know it's all inside my head,
Inside Moves does feature an important bit of Oscar trivia. Harold Russell, winner of the Best Supporting Actor Oscar for The Best Years of Our Lives, returned to acting in this, his second film. I've never seen Inside Moves, so I can't attest to whether or not Scarwood deserved the nomination. All I can tell you is that her nomination came as a big surprise, and more importantly, brought her to the attention of the producers of that other film, which earned her a Razzie Award. Diana Scarwood retired from acting in 2011. The Mark was a daring and controversial film about a convicted child molester trying to find his place back into society. This was pretty strong stuff for 1961, especially because the story tried painting the main protagonist in a sympathetic light. I'll say this. I recently saw The Mark, and my immediate thought was, why didn't the film's nominated star, Stuart Whitman, get better roles? He was excellent in this film, and he took a chance playing this role after the first choice, Richard Burton, left the project.
Doctor, I made up my mind. I want to go back to prison or to some hospital.
Why?
You know why.
No, I don't. Tell me.
Let's not play one of those psychotherapy games on me. Not tonight.
You tell me why you want to go back.
Because I'm sick. Because I'm not fit to live around people.
You mean that people are afraid to have you living around them?
What's the difference?
There's quite a bit of difference. Believe me, if I thought there was the slightest danger of you being sick again,
There is.
Jimmy, you're upset and you have every right to be, but
Doctor, I want to go back.
Stuart Whitman appeared in more than 100 film and television roles, mostly cast as tough guys in westerns and TV dramas. Nothing came close to what he accomplished in The Mark, and his surprise nomination should have come as a wake-up call to the industry that Whitman was a talent to be reckoned with.
you know better, don't you?
Yes, doctor, it all came out beautifully in therapy. Most crimes are the acting out of some inner conflict, and all of us have such conflicts, and so-called normal people control them. Sick people act them out as I did. Once you understand your conflicts, why,
You sound normal enough.
and on the surface I can function normally. What you don't seem to understand is that inside, half of the time, I shake like a leaf.
There's one more surprise nominated performance to discuss, but before I do, I want to acknowledge each of you for taking the time to watch this video. I appreciate your input and suggestions, and I enjoy how you interact with one another. After an Oscar winner delivers a message, would you please hit the like button? And if you're not already subscribed to the channel, consider joining our friendly community of people who love the Oscars as much as I do. 1975's Best Actress lineup wasn't considered the strongest in Oscar history. In addition to winner Louise Fletcher, there was Anne Margaret in Tommy. I love this performance, by the way. Glenda Jackson in Hedda, Isabella Gianni in The Story of Adele H., and the fifth slot was one of those nominations, that being Carol Kane in Hester Street. Shot on a budget of $365,000, the film, based on an 1896 novella, told the story of a Jewish woman's difficulty assimilating to life in New York once her family immigrates to the United States at the end of the 19th century. Hester Street did well in certain parts of the United States upon its release, and ended up making $5 million at the box office. After Carol Kane's surprise announcement as a Best Actress nominee, the couple who produced the film enlisted the services of a man named Max Burkett, who had previously worked on a campaign for a Best Actress nominee that generated very positive results.
Jasle, was ist das in Englisch?
Stove.
Stove. Stove.
Ich will lassen.
Wald, wald. Lounge. Table.
Though Carol Kane has made more than 75 films, she is probably best remembered for her two-time Emmy-winning role in the TV series Taxi, as well as numerous other television appearances.
Good evening.
Jay! Come on! Yes, sit.
Please share those Oscar-nominated performances that made you go, wow, that one was a surprise, and tell us why. And until we meet again, I'll leave you with this.
Now, please forgive me. Good night.